And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the elimination match. The elimination match here of the 2026 GSL Season 1 Round of 12 Group B. We just wrapped up with the winners match. Bjorn, he is the first player to advance on into the next round, into the round of 8 from the round of 12. And now we have our first series here to determine which player is going to be the first to be eliminated. The elimination match is up next. It's going to be a TvT between Cure and Bunny. Oh boy, the TvTs continue here, and will they be as aggressive as we have been experiencing them so far? I would imagine so. We're expecting aggression, we're expecting high-octane matches here, as always, between our Terran players. And do we go for a more 2-rank sweeper? I would imagine so. Oh boy. Here we go, as so far we're having a look at Cure, getting ready, of course, preparing mentally, physically, likewise Bunny as well. Beautiful. Beautiful. So again, our players are setting up. Yeah, players are setting up. It looks like we have our vetoes done. Game 1 is going to be in Tourmaline. Game 2, Winter Madness. Game 3, Ruby Rock. Oh my god. Speak of hyper aggression. Jesus. What were the vetoes? Cure, he vetoed Celestial Enclave. We had Mothership veto from Bunny, two of the larger maps. We had 10,000 feet, then Tidal Citadel, Old Republic, then White Rabbit. We got rid of almost all of the larger maps here. Tourmaline and Ruby Rock, they both favor aggression. It's gonna be a short series, mate. It's gonna we're gonna wrap up real quick. Winter Madness has potential for a longer game, but I mean that's also prime for proxies. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Green Terran. For Team Liquid, it is Cure. And top right hand corner, we have the red Terran player. It is Bunny. You gotta be quick with these guys. You gotta be you gotta be quick, you gotta be fast. And here we go again. We're jumping into this. Looks like we have a bit of a head-to-head record here. Bottom right, we have a Cure with a 10-4 scoreline offline events, and Cure 56-30 on online events as well. Again, Cure is favored for sure. He is favored against Bunny. Bunny has brought Cure down in the past, but Cure is still coming in as the favorite player. Despite that, it's still TvT. Anything can and will happen. Hyper aggression is favored. Despite that, both players go for the Raxes back at home. No proxies. No proxies, no shenanigans. Not this time. Not this time. Today's GSL Speedrun Edition. I mean, it was the same last night. Like last night, it was non-stop cheese, non-stop aggression. It was really fast games, really fast matches. That's just how the meta is at the moment. The meta is just hyper aggression, high octane. This is also why I did want to go into the TLMC retrospective in regards to the current map pool that we have and the trajectory of the meta. But it has been like very, very little like mid to late game in terms of recent games and just recent matches, which is a bit of a shame, but hopefully we can break that mold. Hopefully we can break that mold in this broadcast at some point. For now, we do have our Rax expands from both players. CC on the high ground for Bunny, CC on the low ground for Cure. So both players are going for the same build, but we do have a bit of a safer variation by Bunny with that high ground expansion. I don't blame him, especially after the Beyond series. Like it makes sense for Bunny to be a little bit on edge. Does make sense. Yeah, so from here we're just getting into our own standard follow-ups. Getting into our follow-ups here. So Rax into Factory. From here we can get into either Reactor Reaper Hellion, we can go into earlier Cyclone production, we can be a little bit more defensive, a little bit more aggressive. Regardless, we'll get into Tourmaline. I should speak about the map itself. Tourmaline is a smaller map of the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground. Tourmaline favors hyper aggression, 100%. So we do expect our players to be very aggressive, at least in the early to mid game, especially when it comes to attempting to take a third expansion. It's going to be quite a challenge for either player to maintain their third bases. Will be a challenge. So now we are opening up. have additional Hellions amassing here just to maintain our early game aggression, early game map control. Into add-on swaps, into Ravens, everything's looking normal so far. Everything's looking normal. When it comes to mech as a possibility, I mean, mech is viable, don't get me wrong, but neither one of our players are really known to embrace mech too much. Cure has played mech from time to time, especially against players like Maru, for example, but here we should be seeing like Biotank in the mid game. For now, Raven follow up into their upgrades into Matrix. Oh, as we're building up to 6, are we building on the wave? No, just 6. So 6 Hellions from both sides. I'm a little bit surprised actually that Cure he has not gone for his own upgrade. We have not started Interference Matrix. Not for Cure. No, there we go. It's a little bit more delayed, but it is now on the way. So again, for the most part, we're heading in the same direction. Faster third CC out of Bunny. Very fast third, actually. Hyper greed from our Red Terran. And we'll see how far behind Cure is with his own expansion. So third CC is on the way. Observer does point it out. Here we go. We do have a slightly later third base for Cure. But remember what we mentioned earlier when it comes to Tourmaline, it all comes down to whether or not we can actually saturate that third, whether we can land it and maintain that third base. That's what matters. We spoke about mech. It is mech. God damn it. We just spoke about it. We're like, nah, players don't really want to embrace mech too much. If we do, it's typically Cure. But no, here we go. We have 2 more factories on the way. Bunny is meching it up. There it is, 3 factories. Setting up a battle mech. Meanwhile, add-on swap in towards Stim, in towards a Biotank from Cure. So Cure is embracing Biotank. Meanwhile, mech out of Bunny. We'll see if Bunny can even maintain his third though, as Reaper is shut down, and Cure he will gain map control. Gain map control. Scan reveals everything. He confirms mech. He does see all 3 factories. Big scout here for Cure. Scans the upgrade, confirms either, of course, Macful accelerators or Blue Flame. Cure is aware. And this should prompt Cure to be more active and more aggressive. For now, going for a Reactive Viking. Stim is on the way. Tanks are still amassing here for Cure. Are still amassing. So players are building up. Players are building up their forces. Bunny does maintain his third base, and Cure doesn't fight for it. Oh, I assumed that he would, by the way. I assumed that he would be active, that he would fight for the third, but no. Cure, he's just building his forces back at home, waiting for his upgrades, of course, waiting for Stim, which means we're being very passive here in the early game. Very, very passive game here. So we mentioned earlier that we've yet to really experience any kind of mid-game so far between our players, and that is true, but now we finally do. Now we can finally embrace some mid-game play and head towards a longer game state as well. So there's mech with accelerators. Again, building is with battle mech. Bunny is that means. Cure likewise waiting for Stim, waiting for the rest of his upgrades, and he can start to be active. Now, typically, the way this dynamic works is that Cure, he's going to want to be active, and he's going to want to try to delay the 4th expansion. Contain Bunny on a low base count, maintain his own expansions, of course, and have the greater economy, and stop the Terran. Sorry, stop the mech. So slow down the mech. You don't want to rest on your laurels. You don't want to be passive against a meching army. That's an easy way to get yourself killed. And here comes Cure. Cure is going for his move out. He's going for his move out. We can see Bunny getting ready for a backstab. He's going for the dive. Tanks the position. A couple of Marines as well. But the Hellions, they bust in. They bust into the middle line. SCVs will go down. How many, though? Oh, yeah, SCVs are lining up. Oh my god, they do stack. That's going to be 8 SCV kills. But here comes the main force. Here comes the main army. And I believe the Cure, he should have air control. Yep, he does have the Viking lead. Does have that control. Yep, pulling his way forward. He does disable 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks. Oh my god, massive disables. And now he's breaking through. He's breaking on through here. Vikings, they bully back the army. They bully back the Ravens, catching up more Vikings. And again, that air control is insane for Cure. And he breaks in. He breaks into the mineral end as well. Just a massive opening here, and Bunny cannot stop this. He cannot stop this. We assumed that we would be embracing the mid game. We don't. We do not embrace that mid game. Nice Hellbat drop on top of the bio. Vikings, they give chase to the drops. Catching up the CC. There's no saving it. The command center will go down. Oof. Yeah, catching at the Medivacs. And again, Bunny, he was just never able to get into his own game. He was still trying to build up on 3 bases. And Cure went straight for the kill. And this also goes into the map itself. We spoke about it. Tourmaline, short rush distance, open natural, open third base, aggression's favored, and Cure was aggressive. So he was favored. Here's the map that is Tourmaline. With that, Bunny trying to collapse in and going for the final fights. We can land the Vikings, so we should. Oh, as the Ravens, they try to move in. Nice zoning here with the Vikings. Ooh, chased into turrets, but a miscontrol there by Cure. But he's got his liberation. He's got his freedom. Oof. Catching out one of the tanks. Bullying back Bunny. Cure's going for the kill, going for the throat. He's going for the throat. There's still a wall of tanks waiting for him at the natural, but that's what the Liberators are for. That's what they're here for. They siege up. They bully back the army. Tanks are pushing in. Wait, what? Crazy. I think they move in. They're gonna get killed. Yeah, 4 tanks thrown away for free. Crazy decision there. But GG gets called, and Cure, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG, well played. Bunny attempting to slow things down, attempting to build up into mech, but as you mentioned, before he could even build up his own third Cure, he just waited for his upgrades. Very patient play, waiting for stim, combat shields +1, and then went straight for the dive, straight through the center, cutting right past the natural, right past the army into the natural. GG, well played. With that, Cure takes the lead in the series. And can we embrace the mid game? Can we get there? Can we get there at any point in the series in this broadcast? We almost did. Up next, Winter Madness. Winter Madness is a larger map, longer rushes to spike ground, more defendable bases. Technically, if Bunny wanted to turtle, if you wanted to turtle up, then this would be the map to do it on. At the same time, there's a very common map for proxies. I would imagine that Bunny's going to open up double gas. I feel like we have to, right? Double gas opener here for Bunny would make sense, but we'll see. We'll see if he goes for it. Pressure's on. Pressure is on. Bearing in mind, the trigger is waiting for the win of this series in the decider match. He's lying in wait. Let's go. As spawning in the left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Team Liquid Terran player. It is Cure. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Red Terran. It is Bunny. You gotta be quick, Pappy. You gotta. They don't give you any time. Feels intros, man. Feels intros. Let's go. Let us go. For now, we have our TvT, and again, Cure has momentum. He has a lead. Welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is a very large map of the map pool, a much more standard map, I should emphasize. Longer rush distance by ground, more secure natural third and fourth base, and we often do see a lot of mid to late game here. At the same time, because the map is larger, we often do see proxies, but this time, no proxy. Rax is at home for both Cure and Bunny. We'll see if either player plays safe. There it is. Double gas. Yeah, Bjorn did scar him. Double gas opener out of Bunny. This is a very safe build here by Bunny. It means that if Cure was going for a proxy, Bunny should be secure. Because this means faster factory, faster Hellion, stronger defense out of Bunny. But in this game of chicken, Cure comes out on top because Cure didn't proxy. So Cure is going to have the economic lead, and meanwhile Bunny will have the tech lead. And now the pressure's on Bunny to make something happen, to make some damage done, with that faster factory. He can go into Reactor Reaper Hellion, he can go into early Cyclone, he can go into early tank drop, early tank push, he can go for fast Banshee play into faster Starport. Bunny has some tech options, but he's forced to make use of his tech. technically he can one base all in, I suppose. But I typically reserve that for players like Gumiho, players like Ryung, players like Maru. Like, they're the kind of players that are willing to like one base all in a position like this and just be animals. Bunny and Cure less so. Less so. So now, again, we're just building up. We do see Cure with a faster CC on location, on the low grounds. And again, Bunny with a faster factory. Once again, Cure does back in. Ooh, does kill one SCV, but does he escape with his Reaper? One-way trip. Yeah, one-way trip here. Better trade for Bunny. Takes down the Reaper. It's so risky being active like this, being aggressive early on as a Terran player, and Cure gets punished. He does trade 1-to-1 with the SCVs, but he will lose his Reaper. He will lose map control early on, and Bunny has momentum. Thankfully, the bunker does finish. Cure, he should be safe at his natural at least, but what about the main? And what about the main base? Hellions are on the way. Bunny does zip into the mineral line. Does get a CV. Ooh, and it's going to be his turn to lose his Reapers. Yeah, the Reapers are going to be hunted down. At least gets a full scout, does confirm the 1-1-1. Confirms there's no, say, like, second racks, there's no second factory, no weird shenanigans, no weird build. No faster TC. As this time, I would imagine we should be seeing Bio out of Bunny. For now, though, again with the earlier tech, leads into earlier Raven play. So first Raven's already on the way here for Bunny. He's building up his Raven. Premier working on Interference Matrix as well, working on that disable. Likewise, so is Cure. We've still yet to experience our next tech, our next production building, but again, it should be Rax's. It should be. Like, I understand we saw the mech last game. Like, oh, faster command set out of Cure. Okay, faster CC. The onus is going to be on Bunny this time to be the aggressor. Unless we get our third base momentarily here. As if I was still building up. Just fanning out of units, getting eyes on any kind of move outs. Eyes are still on Bunny. As he's building up another wave of tanks, another wave of Ravens. Takes out the gas geyser. And still no third CC. Again, Cure, he's going to have a third base so much faster here. And that means faster natural saturation, faster worker production, of course, extra mules. Yeah, big lead for Cure. It's on Bunny to punish. But he needs to punish this. Okay, going for the swap. Getting into Reacted Viking. Viking production's underway. Bunny setting up for his third on location? Or are we setting up for a push? Remember, Bunny, he's up in army. He's got more tanks, he has more Ravens, he has more Marines. The reason why he has all this is because his third base is so late. Third CC just now begins, so Bunny's not going for a 2-base all-in. But he has a large army he's not really doing anything with. At least Cure's coming to him. True. Coming to him.
Ready to plunder.
Scan reveals the production. Bunny's starting to push. And can Bunny catch out Cure? As I mentioned before, Bunny has a larger army to work with. Bunny will win a head-on fight. Who catches who? do pass by each other. Kira getting within range of the gas geyser. Oh, even delaying the CC. Okay. Does side the building worker. Bunny coming in for the flank. Collapsing in from behind. And Kira's gonna lose everything here. Yeah, no shot. He's gonna lose everything. He does try to stand his ground. Tanks will fall. And a massive loss for Cure. We do see Cure going into the middle line, and it will kill some SCVs. But what about the main army? What about the counterattack? Yeah, it's a one-way trip. He'll lose everything. Again, Cure should not have been out here. Remember, he was a greedier player as well. He was a greedier player, a smaller army. He'll lose everything. And that might just be game. that was like, again, Cure, he was being greedy. He had a smaller army. He decided to push. He lost everything. I mean, Cure, what's going on? Cure has a massive worker lead, but Bunny should counterattack. Send it, Bunny, send it. All the way. Okay, even a couple of boys are being pulled to repair. It's going to be a very difficult hold here for Cure, to the point where there's no shot he holds. Like, no shot. Was Cure just being over-eager, overly aggressive, overconfident even? There's no need to be out there. And Bunny should be able to break through this. There's 2 tanks on the high ground. Armor shot goes off. Massive connection. Oof. We do get our 1 disable. Tanks are moving in, getting within range. It's a messy push here up the ramp. But Bunny will break through. It takes out both tanks. There's 1 tank left. Again, it's not clean here. Bunny trying to get up this ramp. But he knows that he has enough. He knows that he's so close. Liberation has arrived. Boys are being pulled. A desperation out of Cure. He sends all the boys in and he will lose everything. Again, Cure kind of made his own bed here. And with that, we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game 3. As down goes everything. 44 dead SCVs. And Bunny, he will tie up the series. Like, there's no recovering from this. Again, it all came down to the push. Like, Cure, he was ahead economically. He did not have to be out there. He didn't have to be aggressive in the way that he was. He didn't have to be out there. And with that, Cure is down to 29 SCVs. 29 workers. Cure does catch some reinforcements, getting a couple of Marines, a couple of units here and there. Getting what he can. And are we gonna okay. I mean, Cure does have a standing army on the map and he's shocking around. There's a world where he can surround the force and maybe break out. The issue here though is the economy, right? We have 70 SCVs to 29. Cure does have a third, I suppose, and here we go. Here comes the breakout, comes in from behind, dusts around. Cure cleans up all the tanks. This is nice. Yeah, it's nice. Ah, no. As we're helping you with a copium here for sure. Bunny threatening a drop. Cure going for his own counterattack. I mean, he's all in. So it's a bit of a Hail Mary play here for Cure. Now, technically, there's a world where if he can get into a good position, if he can go for a massive Dune drop and unload in the main, specifically in the main base, or maybe behind the natural mineral line, then maybe he can set up and take a better fight and cripple the economy and snowball from there. Like, there's a slim chance, very slim. OTC is denied. Here we go, does siege up behind the mineral line. Again, this is maybe the best position here, but the mass disables, so it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Disabling the Medivacs as well, he cannot lift, cannot save. GG gets called, and Bunny ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, this game, I'll be honest, was on Cure. Like, Cure, he was being quite greedy this game, and he was getting away with it. Cure, he was getting away with it. He was able to get a faster third CC, faster saturation, higher worker counts, smaller army. So it was on Cure to be defensive. It was on Cure to be defensive, to be able to get away with his fast third, and to get away with that greater economy. But he was active instead with a smaller force, and he got completely surrounded. He got completely locked down and surrounded, and lost everything. And with that, Cure, he lost the army then and there. He lost the game then and there. The game did drag out a little bit longer, of course, but by no means was Bunny in any danger. By no means was he in any real danger. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends on Ruby Rock. Let's go. Let us go. So again, we're getting into that ace match. And again, we'll see if Bunny can keep this momentum going. We'll see if Cure can bring it back. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have Cure for Team Liquid. In the bottom right, we have Bunny, the red Terran. Let's go. Let us go. As we're getting into our ace match, we're getting into game 3 here, and once again we'll keep an eye on our players. So far we've yet to see any proxies, any rack shenanigans here in this series so far. Of course, Beyond did embrace that quite heavily in the previous matchup. We'll see if anyone does delve into that. The answer is no. Okay, no SCVs out on the map, but Raxes are back at home. Now, welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is a very aggressive map of the map pool. Shorter rush distance by ground. We have an open third, an open fourth, an open center of the map as well. So aggression is heavily favored typically, and it's going to be quite difficult for either player to maintain their third bases. It's going to be very, very difficult. So we often do see aggression at the third as we're expanding. And both players are opening up double gas. Interesting. So safer builds by both Cure and Bunny. Double gas openers all around, opening up with faster factories. And from here, we'll see if we have mirrored follow-ups into Reaper Hellion or into Cyclone play. Let's find out. Let us find out. Again, we do still lean towards Cure coming into this matchup just because of how game 2 even progressed as well. It was mainly Cure that was dictating the pace of the game, and Cure that kind of led to his own demise in a sense. But we'll see how our players do differ here. We did see attempted mech in game 1 from Bunny. No, shall we see that again here? But there is always a possibility. If he's willing to do it on Tourmaline, he's willing to do it here on Ruby Rock as well. I'm sure he is willing. Otherwise, we are going to be settling in. We do have our CCs on location for both players. We have our initial Reaper Hellion, and we'll see how hard we commit into additional Reaper Hellion. That's kind of the first big step here in our TvT. Starports abound. Oh, never mind. So Bunny does go for the, instead of going into additional Reaper Hellion, he's going for add-ons into the faster starports. Meanwhile, Cure, he's doubling down with additional Reaper Hellion instead. Reavers they pick in, they will delay the starport. Nice pickup, gets one SCV and pulls away. That was a risky maneuver here by Cure, but he does get away. Comes in, will trade 1-to-1. Does trade. But still a better trade for Cure as he was able to kill the SCV and delay the starport. Yeah, but the better initial trade here from Cure. Now moving in, rotating over towards the CC. He will not delay though. Yeah, it does finish up just in time. Cure, he was a couple of seconds too late. Late by a couple of seconds. Now with that, the Cyclone is now out. Remember, we had the earlier add-ons out of Bunny. Earlier add-ons, earlier Cyclones, and Bunny holds. But he does hold on. There was potential for Cure, especially if he had arrived a couple of seconds sooner. If he had delayed the CC, different story, but in the end, I do prefer Bunny's position. The Cyclone is more robust. And we have survived the early game. From here, Raven production, tanks as well. We do have Disable on the way for Cure. We should be seeing it for Bunny momentarily as well. Into Interference Matrix. More or less the same direction for both players. Of course, mech is always a possibility, so we have to keep an eye out for that, especially after game 1. Gotta keep an eye out for the follow-up. Basically, the next big power spike here, or the next big moment, deciding factor, do we go for second factory? Do we go for Raxes? Do we go for a faster third CC or a second starport? There it is. Oh, Cure going for the all-in. Do you see what I see? I see a 2-port, 2-base all-in out of Cure. He's going for a second starport. This is a very aggressive build here. The observer will eventually point it out, but the second starport is indicative of extra Vikings. We're going into a heavy Viking follow-up for air control into a Liberator into hyper aggression across the map. Now, this is a more modern variation with the Raven, and because the Vikings are a little bit cheaper, if you recall, in the most recent patch from quite some time ago, technically, you can actually afford a CC with this. So in the past, pre-patch, like 2 years ago, this used to be an all-in. Technically, with this, you can afford a command center, but it's still hyper aggressive. As you can see, we're making 3 Vikings at a time. 3 Vikings at a time. The goal here, oh, we can see Bunny's doing the same thing. Great minds think alike, but it's a later starport. Later Viking production. Cure does have momentum, does have a window in time where he can take advantage of Bunny. Okay. Cure. So again, Cure, we're going for the same build, but Cure is 1 step ahead. He's 1 step ahead. And Cure is already pushing. The goal here is for the Vikings to take control of the skies, to zone away those Ravens, and then to allow to allow Cure to push in. Let's go. Vikings are pushing forward. Cyclone will zone away. Tanks to siege. Tank shots going off on the Hellion. And we're still rallying across the map. We're still hyper committed. There's no third CC yet. I spoke earlier how you can expand with this, but so far there's no expansion. Cure has the money for it though. He has 600 minerals. He has the money for it. There it is. CC for Cure. As I mentioned, he's expanding. As I mentioned, ideally we want to zone away those Ravens. Want to zone them back. Volley goes off. Better connection. Raven almost goes down. And Cure even getting within range of the production. It's within range. Nice lock on. Nibbling away at the Viking. Another tank is soon to arrive. They're also getting within range of the production. Starport is under fire, and Bunny's in danger here. He's in trouble. He has to engage, and massive missile goes off, shreds the armor. Does shred the armor. Vikings going down one after the other. We just came to the production. The Starport goes down. Massive pickup. Stim is almost done. 10 seconds away. Vikings they land on the tank. Ooh, this is a risky maneuver there. Yeah, risky maneuver. Stim does finish. Stim does barely finish in time, but I don't see Bunny breaking this. There are just so many tanks here. Ravens, they come in. They're flanking. They get in. 1, 2, 3 disables. Massive disables. Vikings forced to land, and Curie has enough. Yeah, he has enough. Curie, he does hold. He does maintain his position. He shuts down the army, and Curie snowballs out of control. GG gets called, and Cure will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the decider match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Bunny, he is eliminated from GSL. Bunny is out. Cure is in. I mean, I say he's in. He has another chance. He has a chance at redemption here. He's going up against Trigger in the next round. GG. GG, well played. Whew. As with that, we do see Cure advancing on here. Again, when it came to the build itself, Bunny was one step behind. Cure, he was going for the 2-port, 2-base all-in. Very late third CC, but again, the purpose of the second starport is to have a massive Viking lead, to take over the skies, to bully back the army, and to allow for your tanks to get within range of what they want, whether it's tanks or whether it's the production. Once we saw the tanks get within range of the starport, that was almost game then and there. Like, how could Bunny engage with that force? He couldn't. He could not engage. He could not stop the tanks. He could gonna stop the army. And with that, GG well played. Bunnies out of GSL, and we have one series left tonight. It is going to be the decider match, Trigger versus Cure, after the break. See you soon.